Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. And if you missed it, we did a live yesterday talking all about Atlantis and even some maps that show North America, actually, what's the United States right now, being labeled as Atlantis in more than one old map. Oh, man. Our history is nothing like they've taught us in school.
It's weird.
Yes, absolutely. This was really weird. This was Hurricane Florence. Do you remember Hurricane Florence? It stalled over the Carolinas after making landfall, significantly increased the risk of catastrophic flooding. The storm had peaked as a Category 4 hurricane with top winds of 140 miles an hour. It made landfall only as a Category 1 near Wrightsville Beach, beautiful, one of my favorite places, in North Carolina on September 13th, 2018. After landfall, it moved slowly northward, remained nearly stationary for days. Its center stalled 35 miles west of Myrtle Beach, moving forward at just 2 miles an hour. This was horrible because it led to over 40 inches of rain in some areas, like the Central Appalachians. Massive flooding. Think about that again. This was a storm that was powerful at one point, but then stalled, and it gave up to 40 inches of rain. Well, why do you bring that up? Because we were just listening to Max, and he's got the look on his face that says it all right here. Max Velocity. Melissa just took a turn for the worst. Yeah, it's starting to look more and more as Hurricane Melissa takes aim at Jamaica, Cuba, perhaps also Hispaniola, and the Bahamas. Whew, Jamaica, not a good scenario. So what Max is talking about is not the fact that eventually it's going to turn north here. It's the fact that some models show this getting up to Category 3, even Category 4, possibly even Cat 5 strength, and stalling along Jamaica's coastline. Holy cow, this is not a good scenario. Not a good scenario at all. Because what we had with Hurricane Florence, again, was a Cat 1 landfall and then stalling out. And what we'd be talking about here is a Cat 3, 4, or 5 landfall and staying strong for perhaps days. This is, really a nightmarish scenario here, as you can see. 2 a.m. Friday, 8 p.m. Friday, making its way and just hanging around the area. Some areas, again, in this situation, some areas may get similar rainfall to what we saw out of Hurricane Florence, but literally have to deal with major hurricane winds for days. This is not a good scenario. So absolutely, we're asking everybody out there to put out your positive intentions to weaken the storm, send it off in a way that will affect less people and make it less severe. So you can see, this is going to be a major hurricane, and it's going to be hanging around over the whole weekend. And then where does it go after that? Most of the models show that it will go through the Bahamas. And, again, this area here, which is still populated with quite a few people, but when you look at the population of the Caribbean, you see Haiti and Dominican Republic, they share one island, Hispaniola. This right here is 23 million people. So that's very, very populated. And then we have Cuba and Jamaica. These are some of the more populated areas, again, in the Caribbean. And Jamaica's capital, Kingston, looks like it will more than likely receive a very, very impactful event as far as the rainfall goes and the wind. So this is what they're looking at 20 plus inches of rain. And with the current forecast in some areas, 20 to 30, here just a little bit off the coast. It's not a good scenario, guys. So again, we're asking everybody to put out their prayers and best intentions that we can mitigate the damage, and hopefully this storm won't stall out and cause catastrophic flooding as well as catastrophic wind damage.
Well, it's so wild, what the storms are doing these days, and they just seem so unpredictable. And that's why we definitely need to put out our positive intentions for everyone who's going to be stuck, for all those people who are sick, who have to evacuate, that might have a lot of medicine that they can't bring with them, which is going to make them weaker. So, I mean, it goes on and on. If you think about people's individual lives and how they function, there's a lot of people that are ill out there, and they're going to be stuck in this storm. And how do they just up and go? It's not going to be easy. So prayers for everyone across the board. And we do appreciate everyone who's joined us in any way. Thank you.
So I found this to be very interesting. Insane mafia-linked NBA gambling scandal erupts. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups arrested among dozens of alleged riggers. This, there are things happening that we don't typically see in normal times. If you're really looking close, is there real change going on? Yeah, there's definitely real change. We've always known, or at least suspected, that things like point shaving, rigging outcomes to a degree in the NBA, in boxing, for instance, and other sports as well. The scripts that we've watched laid out when it comes to the Super Bowl, for instance, it feels just that, very, very scripted. Feels very, very fake. Well, now you have a years-long investigation that spanned 11 states, resulted in 30 arrests. The Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese organized crime families were allegedly involved as enforcers in this gambling scheme, taking a cut of the winnings. There was an alleged robbery at gunpoint to obtain a rigged shuffling machine along with extortions. Defendants laundered their proceedings through cash exchanges, multiple shell companies, and cryptocurrency transfers. Rozier allegedly manipulated betting results by leaving a game early. Not trying your best. How easy would it be for, somebody to miss a key shot? Or they commit a hard foul, again, that changes things. So easy, to theoretically rig a game. Well, yeah, here you go. This is really, it's kind of surprising. It's stuff that we kind of suspect always goes on. And yet, here you go. They actually are going after him. They're actually arresting over 30 people. This is really wild. Legendary Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, former NBA player DeMond Jones, all arrested as part of this investigation into illegal gambling operations that included X-ray tables that read cards, special contact lenses, rigged shuffling machines, and more, swindling people out of tens of millions of dollars. Billups was charged in connection with an illegal poker operation tied to La Cosa Nostra. According to the FBI, Rozier allegedly manipulated his performance during an NBA game to sway the betting results. Well, there's a reason why the house always wins. We saw where they were talking about Las Vegas dying, but it's not really dying. It's only really shuffling its priorities to really just kind of cater to the elites, the real ultra rich that don't blink an eye at $75,000 being lost at a blackjack table. Again, this is part of the separation of society into, even more of the haves and the have-nots. But I do find it interesting to see something this big actually happen and people actually being arrested. It does feel in some ways that there's a new sheriff in town, but The question is that sheriff going to turn out to be as corrupt or more corrupt than all the others previously?
You have to at least ask the question, because how many times have they done something just to pass certain laws, just to create more control? So can't say yes, can't say no, just have to say, well, I mean, look what they've done in the past, but who knows? Frequencies are changing, time is changing, so maybe this will be different.
Yeah, and the reality is, it's known that our alphabet soups have worked with the organized crime, and the biggest crime syndicates in the world are literally the governments of the world when you get down to it. Obviously, when you look at politicians, again, that might have $100,000 income a year and somehow generate hundreds of millions of dollars of income because of where they are geopolitically, insider trading, manipulation. It's all coming out. It's been the most corrupt. I think it's been more corrupt than most people realized. Basically, way more corrupt than most people would conceive of. And that's because I don't think most people are that corrupt. I think it's, again, a minority. But the minority takes advantage and manipulates the majority. Alaska Airlines resumes operations after an IT outage grounded its flights for hours. Here you go yet again. Very curious, to say the least. These times are very interesting. And here you go. Walking into the weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend out there. Get your party hats on, get dressed up, enjoy yourself. Maybe just don't bet on any rigged sporting events.
Yeah, just then there's that. But I wonder if all those people that lost because of that, if they win backwards now. I don't know.
Somehow I doubt it. Yeah, again, there's a long way to go, but here we are. We are in the apocalypse, the unveiling, and the unveiling is revealing just the level of corruption, which, again, is beyond what most people have suspected.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.